In the beginning of the movie, we hear a narrator's voice telling us that millions of years ago, God created a different world to control Earth's environment. This world was settled in the depths of the sea, inhabited by various kinds of beings. Now, we meet a girl named Ellie in this world. She is very kind and spends most of her time with her friend, Oliver. Oliver likes Ellie a lot, but is too afraid to admit it. One day, a special festival is celebrated in this underwater world. During this festival, some of the children are sent to the human world so they can better understand it and see how their elders control the human environment. Ellie is one of the children chosen to go to the human world, so she attends the festival with her parents. Oliver's grandmother, who is the head of this world, opens a portal to the human world using a magical mask. Ellie and the other children transform into red dolphins and travel through the portal to the human world. There, they emerge from the sea and go their separate ways to explore. Meanwhile, Ellie encounters two siblings, Ram and Anjali, who live near the sea and spend most of their time playing with the fish. Ellie falls in love with Ram at first sight because he takes great care of his sister and the sea creatures. Time passes, and it's time for Ellie and the other children to return to their world. On her way to the portal, Ellie sees dolphins caught in a fishing net and decides to help them. However, she gets caught in the net herself. Anjali sees this and tells her brother, Ram, who dives into the sea to rescue Ellie. He cuts the net and frees her, but the strong current pulls Ram under, and he drowns. Ellie is heartbroken but has to leave Anjali behind and return to her world because the portal is about to close. Back in her world, Ellie goes straight to her grandfather, who is a skilled but unkind doctor. She tells him everything that happened. He consoles her, saying it's all a game of fate, but Ellie still feels guilty. In the evening, Ellie sits on a hill, thinking about Ram. A lion statue starts talking to her and asks why she is sad. Ellie tells the statue about Ram, and the statue gives her a bell, instructing her to ring it at night. That night, Ellie sneaks out to ring the bell. Oliver sees her leaving and quietly follows her. Ellie reaches the statue and rings the bell, summoning a strange creature with a boat. She boards the boat, and the creature takes her to a place where she meets a soul keeper. Ellie explains everything to the soul keeper and asks him to bring Ram back to life. The soul keeper agrees but demands half of Ellie's life in exchange. Ellie agrees without hesitation. The soul keeper takes Ellie to a room filled with tied-up fish and tells her to find Ram's soul. She quickly finds it, and the soul keeper brings Ram's soul back to life, joining it with Ellie's. He warns her that if she dies, Ram will die too, and she must take care of his soul until it is ready to return to the human world. Ellie returns home with Ram's soul and starts thinking of a new name for it. Oliver arrives and suggests naming it Kun after a legendary fish that could fly. Ellie agrees, and they name it Kun. As time passes, Kun grows rapidly, and one day, Ellie discovers that Kun can fly. However, the presence of a human soul in their world starts to disrupt the environment. One day, Ellie's mom throws Kun into the water, thinking it's an ordinary fish. Ellie is devastated, but Oliver takes her to a large gutter where the waste from all the rivers in their world collects. They hear Kun's cry from inside the gutter. Oliver jumps in to search for Kun, but can't find it. An old lady who controls rats finds them and helps retrieve Kun using her rats. Ellie is overjoyed. Kun continues to grow, and Oliver and Ellie eventually release him into a well near the city. A child sees this and tells the townspeople, who become suspicious. Oliver and Ellie hide Kun in an abandoned building. There, they find a box containing a snake that attacks Ellie. Kun and Oliver save her, but Oliver is bitten and falls unconscious. Ellie carries Oliver to her grandfather, who informs her that there is no antidote for the snake bite. As Ellie sits crying, Oliver is relieved and happy that Ellie is safe. Using the bell, he goes to the soul keeper. The scene shifts to the rest of the inhabitants of this world, who are deeply concerned about the worsening weather and rising water levels. They seek out Ellie to find the cause and discover the human soul, realizing it is responsible for the bad weather. They attempt to capture Kun to send him back to the soul keeper to restore the weather. Seeing Kun in danger, Ellie tries to escape with him. At this moment, Oliver arrives with his grandmother's mask and opens the portal to the human world, hoping Kun can return there. However, Kun cannot cross the portal in time, and it closes. A flood suddenly occurs, and Ellie, along with Kun, is swept away and ends up at her grandfather's place. At the same time, two people from the city come to catch Kun. Ellie quickly tells Kun to leave and asks her grandfather for help. Her grandfather burns some of his ashes to summon Ellie's grandmother, the eldest of all the birds. As she merges with the tree, it grows enormously, saving everyone in the city. However, Kun's soul becomes sorrowful over Ellie's death. In her memory, he breaks a branch from the tree and leaves, but encounters the Soul Keeper, who returns half of Ellie's life. Ellie comes back to life but loses all her powers. The Soul Keeper tells Ellie it's time for her to go, and that once Ram's soul returns to his world, she will forget all her memories here. Ellie decides to spend as much time as possible with Kun. On their journey, they meet Oliver, who is saved by the tree. Oliver and Ellie go to a safe place. At night, Oliver asks Ellie if she wants to live with Kun. Ellie replies that it's not possible because she has lost all her powers and can't cross the portal. When Oliver asks about himself, Ellie says he is like an older brother to her. Saddened, Oliver silently cries, unable to express his love for Ellie. The next morning, Ellie sees Kun, who has grown significantly. Both are saddened by the thought of parting. Oliver arrives and opens the portal to the human world with the help of the bell, allowing Kun to return to his world. Ellie is heartbroken while saying goodbye to Kun. Oliver then breaks the bell, releasing its energy and giving him immense power. He asks Ellie to hold his hand. Confused, Ellie asks what he is doing. Oliver explains that he asked the Soul Keeper to return her life in exchange for his own. Knowing he is going to die, he wants to ensure Ellie can live safely in the human world with Kun. Ellie realizes Oliver's love for her and feels deeply sad. And with this, our movie ends here.